Concert Crew Podcast, we back again.
Yes, we are.
Well, today we celebrating the War Report 25th anniversary.
This was a fucking classic.
Man, Capone-N-Noreaga's debut album, The War Report, man. They met while locked up in jail. And they became best friends, man. Capone and Noreaga, they became best friends. But it's funny because they ain't even talk about rap in jail. They talked about they was into basketball and drugs. That's what they talked about. Yeah. They ain't even talk about music.
Talk about putting the plan together.
Yeah, music wasn't even a thing. They just became like brothers in jail. That's how this whole thing started. Capone is from Queensbridge, Nore is from Left Rack. They formed a brotherhood, came home, and started making music, and the rest is history. We got the War Report. We celebrating this 25th anniversary today. What you saying, son?
You know, it's funny that Capone was talking about basketball, and Ron Artest is his cousin from Queens.
And also, your boy's his cousin. The album that you say is a classic. That's not a classic.
Royal
Flush. His album's not a classic, but that is
Royal
his
Flush.
That is his cousin.
Royal Flush album is a classic.
Oh my gosh, man,
we're all entitled to our own opinions.
Yeah, that's a classic.
But that's Capone's cousin as well.
It's crazy.
So yeah, man. So a lot of connections. But 1997, this came out on June 17th. What was the climate in hip hop at the time, right when this album was about to drop?
I think everybody was still repping Wu-Tang. At this point, Wu-Tang was heavy.
Wu-Tang Forever was hard.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff because you still had Tupac, Mobb Deep. But when this came, man, it was like a surge. It was, it was like, who this? Then they was talking that talk, man. So it really got messy, man. For this, man, this was damn near, man, like a source. They should have just gave this joint like 5.5 mics.
So it's safe to say that at this time in '97 that hip hop was back on the East Coast.
Absolutely.
Took that title back.
I mean, Big. Even though Big passed away, he let everybody know before he passed, like, I'm still that guy.
Yeah.
Then you got Hov starting to bubble. Nas is that guy from 1996 still. He's still bubbling. Then you got Mobb Deep coming right after Nas. They bubbling with the Infamous. These guys is coming up from that movement, that Queens QB movement. They coming right through the door now.
And they are repping New York to the fullest.
Yes, this is New
no
York
matter
hip-hop.
what. You said something about New York, it's a great chance that they responded.
Yeah, this is New York hip-hop. This is New York street hip-hop, man. But the Wu, coming off Wu-Tang Forever, they killed it with that album. So, and this is that same month. So the Wu is big out there right now.
And Life After Death.
Yeah, Life After Death came in March. Yeah, so my Life After Death, that lasted a long time. It had a light.
And that album I like from Common.
Which
one? With his mom and him on the cover.
One Day It'll Make Sense, I think.
Yeah.
One Day It All Makes Sense.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
But this was like a turnaround on like for those who was like new artists or whatever that was coming out and things of that nature. When this came out, man, this put pressure on some shit.
It kind of set the tone.
Yeah, man. And then they had their own.
It sound different because there was so much hip hop that came out that year that sound different, like Camp Lo.
Yeah.
Everything was just
love Camp Lo.
Like different, like.
They had their own. Camp Lo had their own sound.
Don't
That's why it worked to me.
Don't sleep on the year when this album dropped. A lot of fire dropped this year, man. Word. It's
just 97 is in between 96 and 98. And those are two great years of hip hop. So it just sometimes it get lost.
But 97 got some classics, man. Strong classics of all time in there. Like, so, and this is one of them, man. This was a crazy. This was a crazy drop right here, man.
Plus, like CNN, like they had their own type of slang. Like Noreaga had all these words, like you like saying like left rack. He would think he was talking about or he was calling Iraq left rack. You know what I mean? Like
he was making up a lot of words too. But at the time, it sounded dope.
It sounded
but
dope.
And really looking back, I'm like, what the hell did that mean? But at that point, it was dope, man.
And for real, and that's how we started calling Bennett Iraq. Remember, we started calling Bennett Iraq.
We started adopting.
Bennett Street was called Iraq down bottom because like what they was talking about, what they represented in this album, man. That whole mode fit Bennett at the time.
Yeah.
Bennett was like a war zone.
Was there any wars going on during like the time of '97, like with Saddam Hussein? Anything like in the world?
Nah.
Well, the whole adoption was that the hood was like a war zone. Like, period.
Yeah.
So that was like, so they got different Iraq.
But it was a different war zone that they was speaking about. They was talking about that frame, but it was more of like a war on everything, a war on drugs. It was like a war on everything because they represented so much, man, and so much of the streets that all that gritty shit they was with. You know what I'm saying? If they wasn't with it, somebody in their crew was with it.
Right.
And it was just a major development, man, when like this shit dropped, man. This was special.
Especially over the right beats.
Yeah, this was a special
So
album.
where would y'all say Capone-N-Noreaga was at in their careers at the time this album dropped? Like Pito in New York, did anybody even know Capone-N-Noreaga like that?
Oh yeah, they knew him. They knew him. Everybody in Queens was listening to them, Mobb Deep, and Wu-Tang. So they was right up there.
Well, I mean, they had L.A. I think they still was rather unknown. They was kind of They wasn't like
with
they ain't have
LA.
It wasn't like a long period of music. They had L.A. At least from here in Delaware perspective. New York probably had more songs, but I heard L.A. and then I heard T.O.N.Y. and they had B-sides on T.O.N.Y. So I heard them too. But other than that, I didn't hear a lot of Capone-N-Noreaga music, so I didn't know a lot about them.
Nah.
I just knew they was.
They were playing it in the street, not on the radio.
I think because they didn't have like a major cosign, like somebody like, yo, this is my, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but they had them catchy joints on
yeah,
here,
yeah.
man. That
Them
you
cars,
had to
them
play,
cars
man.
was bumping them.
Yeah,
Cars
absolutely.
was bumping them, and
Absolutely.
Flex at Night was bumping it. But that's the only time they got played, late night.
So it would be fair to call them
And K.
underground.
Slay-
It would be fair to call them underground at this point?
Yeah, because K. Slay was playing them, and at that time it was Pete Rock and Marley Marl had their show at night.
It was no doubt. It was
Pete
no
Rock and
doubt.
Marley Marl had a show together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
At night. So they was getting played at night. That back then the radio stations was R&B in the morning, and they had played Biggie and stuff, the hits. But then later at night,
And Stretching by Beto showed them a lot of love too. Man. So we consider them underground then.
underground,
this
but then
time.
they crossed over. Well, NORE crossed it over.
Yeah, later.
later.
Yeah, later. But I'm talking about right now. They was definitely considered underground on this come out.
So it's like underground, like boot camp click type
Yeah.
level, like
Yeah.
kind of B list. Not to say nothing wrong with B list, but you know what I'm saying? Not like super popular, but not like super underground either.
Yeah.
So.
Did this album go gold, platinum, anything?
It went gold.
All right.
Yeah. So you feel like they had pressure from the whole Queensbridge, Queens, coming from that like to carry on that tradition? You think they felt pressure?
Hell yeah. You got Nas,
Yeah.
Mobb Deep dropping classics. You up next. You better rep QB. You know what I'm saying?
That's just the QB
But-
side.
yeah,
but
Then you
yeah.
got the LL Cool J. You got
the tribe.
And then not only that,
Cool G rap.
and then you have the guys that was from Queens that wasn't on that type level, but was well respected, and people knew they was nice, like Cormega.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had them type individuals as well that was sprinkled in there.
For it.
They don't
Cormega nice.
like
Cormega was nice.
They don't like
Crazy.
Cormega.
Cormega was
Crazy.
at the time when all this was going on. Cormega was nice. Mega was nice from the rip.
Yeah, I definitely think they had a lot of, because at that point, I think when KRS-One made The Bridge Is Over, that was kind of like a black cloud on Queens. But then Nas bought that thing back, and then he kind of opened the door. And then when Mobb Deep came after him, I think that was like, all right, we need either a QB rapper or a Queens rapper. Like, he just opened the door for him. So I think they was in business. If you was dope from Queensbridge, Queens, you was gonna get looks like at that time for sure in the 90s. So yeah, that was a lot of pressure, man. Because if there was a dud, like you gonna hear about it.
The bridge is over.
Because they're gonna get compared to those people regardless. If you from Queensbridge, you getting compared to everybody from Queensbridge. So you gotta bring it.
But I think also like being from QB, like you had to have that sound too.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't come out and sound like something totally different. It was almost like you kind of had to follow that format. That yeah, exactly. Like what they was doing, but still keep it your own. You know. Right. And which I feel like they did.
Well, Shin and Roxanne Shante, they wasn't street.
No, they had bars though, especially Roxanne.
Yeah, they wasn't street at all. Nas wasn't really street. He wasn't street at all.
Nah,
his brother was.
Yo, Jungle
was crazy.
Yeah, but Nas from the streets.
I mean, but he from Queensbridge Projects.
From
but
the streets.
But Nas wasn't be that guy that you like. Cormega actually don't even get considered that, but Cormega was locked up when when Illmatic came out. And like, so a lot of them, Capone was a shooter. They all say, they were like, Capone rap? Like, Capone was, he was known as the shooter before. NORE too. Like, they was known as shooters. So they had reputations. Nas wasn't really like that, but he was that guy, you know, just from being Nas. So like, look at this album cover. You know, what do you think of this album cover? It's called The War Report. Then you got the album cover. What do y'all think about it?
What do you think, Tito?
If I didn't listen to the music and I saw the album cover, I would be thinking that Left Rack and Queensbridge was warring with each other.
Like, yeah.
So describe the album cover showing for those that haven't seen the album cover before. Describe the album cover.
You got Capone-N-Noreaga on the front. One side is QB. One side is Left Rack. They're both from each different projects, just rapping each other.
And they got multiple. Yeah, it's like a main picture.
It's one main picture of them two, but it's like they're copied and pasted like a million times behind them.
That's because they couldn't pay their boys enough to be in the pictures.
I mean, this is Photoshop back in '97, so I mean, it don't look bad, but
it don't look bad for '97.
But you got the fighter jets in the sky.
But if you're not really looking at it, it looks like it is an army, but you really, you know what I'm saying? So it fit.
So it goes with the concept. They got the job done.
You got the sand on the ground, like they're in Iraq.
I can tell the difference between the buildings either.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell the difference.
Look at the project look like Queensbridge, and over here you got
a little nicer windows.
The nicer affordable housing.
I actually like this cover. I thought this color was dope, man. Actually, I like this cover.
What's all the red in the back for? Like Doomsday.
That's the sky. Yeah, it's a war. You know what I'm saying? When it's war, it ain't pretty in a war zone. You know, it's dark. It's kind of dark. So I think that's fitting, man. It fits.
Like the atom bomb going off in the back. Like,
man.
Got
War
the
zone.
Jets.
War zone.
Up in the air.
So would y'all say it was anticipation for this album?
Nah. Well, for me it wasn't. I didn't think that. This joint.
What was the first single?
The first single was "Illegal Life," which I didn't hear "Illegal Life" when I didn't hear "Illegal Life" when it first came out. I didn't hear that single. Then the next single was T.O.
That's when it popped.
"L.A. was a song. It wasn't really a single, but it was out there.
Yeah.
And then T.O.N.Y. was the official second single. "Illegal Life" was like a street single. And then they also had this song called "Thug Paradise" that Flex started playing too, but that wasn't really an official single neither.
Was I looking forward to this album? Probably not, because I was definitely in my Wu-Tang mode at this time. So I was definitely locked into the Wu.
Yeah.
So definitely wasn't checking for a Capone-N-Noreaga. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I would say I wasn't anticipating the album. Well, it wasn't an anticipation on a serious note, but it was anticipation on like a street level, I think, for different parts. It wasn't no big mainstream anticipating because they wasn't on that level yet. Yeah. But on like a regular street level type time, I think it was some anticipation for the album.
I mean, but also you got to think too, back then it's like if it wasn't promoted like with a video or an ad in the source or you know what I mean? Like it'd be hard to kind of find this stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So they were on penalty. So
yeah. So overall big picture, no. But I do think the streets was anticipating this because they definitely had the streets for sure.
Definitely the streets, man. Because like that TONY joint.
That was heavy.
That was heavy. Then
Heavy.
that Legal Life in Thug's Paradise joint. That Thug's Paradise beat, dog. That was the skating joint. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Skating, dog.
Skating.
That shit was messy.
Well, I remember
This was a hell of a time, man. This one, the .8s and shit was jumping. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta really look at it like this was a great situation, man. When this dropped, man, Eastside was at an all-time high.
Right.
For real.
I remember this time, man. This was
It was a lot of
a great time.
It was a great time in the city of Wilmington, period.
I remember
But
Trap.
the E was off the chain.
Trap had the single I believe it was TONY, and it was a cassette tape, and I believe the B side on there was Stick You, and I loved that damn song. Yo, that song was so hard, yo. We love that song, man. We used to bump this single. This is when you had a single, and then for y'all don't know, it used to be single tapes, and then they may have one or two B-sides, other songs that come along with the single. So, man, we was playing that. We was playing it heavy, man.
Was the beat on there too?
Huh?
Was the beat on there?
I can't remember if they had a lot of time they did have acapella versions on there, so it probably was. I can't remember that.
Sometimes
I just remember
it's like the real song, then it's like the radio edit, then it's the beat too.
and then it'd be another song, and the other song was "Stick You," and man, we was playing this joint
Stick You
heavy,
was
man.
like a
Shout out to
classic.
Trap. Trap definitely put me on the Capone-N-Noreaga first, and this joint was we was bumping this joint heavy, man, and we was sold. It just did something. Their music. And NORE at the time, it just got you going, man. It was something about the energy.
Yeah.
It was a little different than me, man. I was loving it. I was loving the vibe, man.
It was just
all in.
It was, like around this time, man, like when they was coming with them joints was coming hot. Cause like damn near everything was catching and everything was like, man, it was to a level, man, of like they kind of mastered like that street life shit for real, man.
Right.
Real rap.
Right,
and
right.
That joint, it was like that, man. Like during this time, man, I love this album.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right, The War Report.
Yes.
Is the debut album from hip-hop group Capone-N-Noreaga, a.k.a. CNN, released on June 17th, 1997 on Penalty Records, Tommy Boy Records, and Warner Brothers Records. Tragedy Gaddafi serves as the executive producer of the whole album, and he appears on half the songs and produces some songs on the album, too. The War Report features additional production from DJ Clark Kent, Havoc, Nasheem Myrick, Carlos Brody, Buck Wild, Lord Finesse, Easy LP, Marley Marr, Charlemagne, not Charlemagne from Breakfast Club neither, another Charlemagne, a producer, and more. The album, they began recording this album in 1995, and it was completed in 1997.
You can't fail with that production team. Just from the producers that you named, it's like it should be dope regardless. Just from the
during this recording process, Capone. I already mentioned that him and NORE met in jail. Then Tragedy actually met Capone, even though they was both from QB. They didn't know each other. Then they met each other. Tragedy started working with Capone, and was great. He started shopping him as a solo artist. Then NORE came home from jail a little later. He linked up with Capone, but Capone was like rooting for him, but he didn't really know if he could rap. Like, so he ain't never heard him. So Tragedy was kind of like, nah, man, I got Capone from QB, I got my own thing. But when he finally met NORE and heard him rap, he was like, oh, this could work.
Right.
So then they pitched it, because this other guy was trying to pitch them as a group. And Tragedy was like, nah, I already got Capone going, we good, I'm working with him. But then when he heard NORE, he was like, yo, this is raw, this is something different. So then they started as Capone-N-Noreaga, the group. So they really didn't have a long time of gelling as musically. Right. They just had love for each other, like as on a brotherly tip. Then they started putting this together. Capone gets a gun charge. He has to go back to jail again.
Yeah.
Now he would have actually went to jail a little earlier, But the guy that was running penalty asked for a little extension, like a 3 weeks. If it wasn't for that, they wouldn't even been able to shoot the TONY video and record a couple extra songs. So then Nore had to then finish the album with Tragedy Gaddafi. They pretty much finished the album. That's why it's a lot of songs that Capone's not on. If you're listening to it now and don't know, it's a lot of songs that Capone is not on. And Tragedy Gaddafi ended up being on more songs due to Capone's absence. So
try to fill in the blanks.
Yeah, so it's an interesting dynamic. So here we go, man. First track on the War Report is the intro, produced by Charlemagne. Mm-hmm. They talking about all the people they lost in the streets, either to jail or death, and it's like their time to start this new movement. And they got like the samples, Capone-N-Noreaga, making power moves like Capone. Mm-hmm. Capone-N-Noreaga.
That beat was hard too.
Got word back from Noreaga. And they just started talking like, I remember this album like the back of my head, man. So then this goes right into track number 2, Bloody Money, produced by Easy LP. Oh, man, this is a banger to start off the album.
This is how you start your album.
And this is a Nore solo record. You know, Capone's locked up. This is New York, get the bloody money. Dirty cash, live niggas to smoke weed, car seat stash, you monkey war, a hunchback, see quiet, talk about me gossip, scared to death when I pop up. He's running this, man. Yeah. This song hard, yo.
This is like the Noreaga, like over the piano keys, he's just like just skipping on this track.
I didn't realize Easy LP did this beat. This beat hard, man.
Put the bogey out in your face. Some motherfucker used to always say.
Now your face laced like ashtray face. If you got a way, giving God some space.
Got beef right here, right there.
Iceberg stash. Should have set it off right there. CNN, War Report, spread across New York.
No, my style, knees bit, guillotine.
Yo, the world know Noreaga from Iraq. Beef with me serious. Keep it real as that. Getting stabbed in your back. My man, Alley Cat, little cousin from Jamaica. Brown skin thug. Yo, we stuck in the game like it's a drug. My pops was a thug nigga. Was in the streets too. Come on, man. He was running this, man. Song hard, man. Song hard.
Yeah. I think Nore, like his flow is so like kind of unorthodox. It works.
It worked.
You know what I'm saying? It's
worked. Like his style was Tragedy described it as stereo. He called Nore's like it was like stereo. It's another word. He said Capone was like how he described it, it's like mob beat. He said like Prodigy and Havoc don't got the same voice, but they rap the same. Like they're like cadence is the same. He's like Nore is like he called it stereo. It's just different. It's different from there. So it's always stands out. So whatever he says stands out just because his style is different, man. So
his style, just the way he delivers, like just the words he says is just different, yo.
He's definitely the X factor. Track number 3, Driver's Seat, featuring Iman Thug and Busta Rhymes, produced by Nasheem Merrick and Carlos Brody. Now for y'all,
Myrick.
For those of y'all that don't know, Nasheem Myrick and Carlos Brody, they're from the Hitmen, Bad Boy. So that's another element. We're going to talk about that a little later, though. But Busta Rhymes is talking at the end of this song, but he actually recorded a verse on this song. But I guess that label didn't clear it or whatever. So I didn't never know that. I just heard he was talking. I just thought he was talking on there. So they actually cut his verse for whatever reasons, man.
But during this time, man, Buster, man, like,
he was big too.
Like, yo, he was, but to have Busta on your joint, that was big. And not only that,
cosign right there. Like, you got Busta on there.
And they also had a Violator connection too with them.
Busta was just strong, man. His voice.
His
voice was.
I don't think they were on Violator.
They were later. Nore was for
Nore
sure.
was.
Nore was for
Noreaga.
sure. But Nore was for sure. I know Nore was for sure. Cause
Chris Lighty.
Yeah, Chris. Nore was. I don't know about Capone-N-Noreaga, but Nore was for sure. But I don't think he was. He wasn't at this time. But that's probably the beginning of the relationship, man. I keep it real with a nigga. Keep it real with me. Cut the hand off a nigga. Try to steal from me. 2-5 be the bomb, diggy bomb and shit. Now story now in the fucking driver's seat, and then that goes right to track number 4. Stick You, featuring Tragedy Gaddafi, produced by Naughty Shorts. And like I said, this was a B-side song or single, but it was treated kind of like a single in the streets, man. But the funny thing about it is, I heard Nore say that that they were scared. The label was scared of this song because they thought they really stuck somebody up, and this is the story behind it. They're like, oh, y'all sticking guys up like this. I was like, wow, that shows the authenticity of the song. They was scared of the song when they heard it, man.
Yeah. But just that whole lead up, you know, the whole lead up to the song, they talking about it and everything. Yo, man, it was like, it was like, nah, man. What I want us to do is get the fuck in and get out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this shit it sounded so real.
So like, it's a storytelling song about sticking somebody up that sold them fake crack. Like this is a storytelling. This is a storytelling song. This ain't your ordinary
for the second time
that you're used to. You, we stick you, we supposed to. Yo, I love Nore's verse on here, man. I love Nore. Oh, man. Tell Willie come and get me on 160. I got three people with me in trenches. We uptown waiting on the benches. The cab taking long. Dominicans going strong, screaming at his song. From dusk to dawn, they right across the street. They don't see us. Hey, yo, our Cuban disguise got us looking like we Jesus.
Just like the wordplay, like you said,
man. Oh, man. Yo, he killed that, man.
What was the climate at this time, Peter, up in New York?
The what?
What was the climate like right now, man, when this in Queens?
Me, personally, I wasn't listening to it.
Oh, my gosh, Peter.
I was more.
Don't worry about it, man. You know Peter always comes with it.
More Mobb Deep than CNN.
And more Woo.
You was listening to Woo?
Yeah.
When?
I listened to Woo.
Oh my God! Well, I ain't hear you. I ain't hear you say nothing positive
Early
about
Woo.
Early Woo, and I was listening to ODB.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, man. Stick You was crazy.
Yeah. Since we're here, we might as well get all of it.
Yeah.
Track number 5. Parole Violators featuring Havoc and Tragedy Gaddafi, produced by Havoc.
You could tell Havoc did this.
This is definitely a Mobb Deep sounding song for sure. Like, this is Mobb Deep. Once you hear this, you like, this is a Mobb Deep song. You know Havoc. Parole Violator, fugitives on the run, son. Dead by the gun, son. Die by the gun, son. This is definitely a Havoc song. Like, this is Mobb Deep all over. You could have put Havoc and P on here, and it'd easily been a Mobb Deep song for sure. But it's dope, though. It's still dope. It's still dope for sure.
What I like about this album is like all the songs is pretty much kind of like up tempo, but you know what I'm saying? It's like
blend right
vibe.
in.
Yeah, exactly.
Blend right
like
in.
One song go to the next song. It's just like a straight through.
Yeah.
I agree.
Nothing slows down. It's just, you know what I mean?
And then they all coming, like all these songs is hits, man. Like, cause this album, man, it's like so well put together, man. It's crazy, man.
And shout out to Tragedy too, cause this is his vision. Like he coaching, he putting together these plays, man. So he gotta get his flyers for sure.
Oh yeah,
it wouldn't be no CNN without. It wouldn't be no Nore solo without Tragedy in the initial vision, man. He put together this whole play and fought for them. So he definitely deserved it. Track number 6, Iraq See the World, featuring Castro, Mussolini, Medusa, and Troy Outlaw, produced by Easy LP. This beat hard, man. Laundry Mac track, keep the loot in Iraq.
Iraq see the world see Iraq. You're knocking us.
I'm just out, son, they watching us. Yo, this be hard. This be hard to me, man. Easy LP again. Easy LP snap. This be hard, yo.
This was during, man. Woof.
This beat hard.
Boy. I love this beat. Definitely go hard.
This beat is hard, man. Shout out to Easy LP, man.
Like, I wonder, like who chose the beats for him? You think Tragedy or Capone-N-Noreaga actually chose the beats?
I don't think they was that active. I know they probably heard stuff they liked. Yeah. But I don't think they was like, yo, let me get these beats. I think Tragedy is probably bringing the beats to the table, and then I think he was like, yo, we gonna rap on this, and I think they felt it, but I don't think they were big in the creative process at this point.
I mean, to me, like it sounded like Tragedy. Like, all right, we rapping to this,
right?
We rapping to that,
right? That's what I think. That's exactly.
He's like, all right, these are the beats for the album. So
and they said Tragedy didn't waste studio time neither. Like he was like, yo, we got this song, this is the beat we doing, be here at this time, let's knock it out.
Yeah,
So it wasn't a
exactly.
lot of like hanging around the studio, wasting
Yeah.
time. Like they was working, getting stuff
Right.
done every time. So track number 7, Live On, Live Long, produced by Naughty Shorts. This actually, this Capone is locked up, and this is actually a solo tribute from NORE to Capone, which is interesting because it's their album together. But you know, this is like it was like a heartfelt song to Capone, man. If my heart stop beating, I go back in time, make your heart beat again. Real niggas to
I
the
like this
end.
beat.
Niggas sussig, niggas smoke
Who did
weed,
this?
contemplated. Naughty Shorts is his name. Dedicated. CNN, say it loud, yo. CNN,
This was that song. This was that song that let them know, like, yo, man, we still here. You know what I'm saying? Like although my man ain't here, we still here. You know what I'm saying? Because this was, man.
Shout out to Nore because he repped Capone hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even when he blew up solo and he ain't have to, he always repped Capone. I respected that.
Yeah.
Especially with the album following this.
Yeah,
Which was
made
his
him
solo
executive
album.
producer.
Yeah.
Like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like he definitely repped him, man. Track number 8, Never Alone, featuring Tragedy Gaddafi, produced by Buck Wild. This beat hard too, man.
That's Buck.
Buck Wild's a dope producer, yo.
Dun, dun, dun. Come on, man.
Dun, dun,
Come on. This album was
Dude,
crazy.
this beat is hard, man. I like how Nore come in on this song.
Oh,
That rip
man.
shit like WrestleMania. He was running this shit, man. No, he was running. I like how he come in on this joint. This be hard.
Nore was
Shout out to Buck Wild, man.
Nore
This
was
be
on
hard.
some shit, man, on this album, man. For real.
Now, all right. So 97 was Nore in the like top MCs that year? You would say?
Nah, see, that's the thing about it. He wasn't in my top MC list, but Nore got me going. Like between 97 and 98, like Nore's tracks got me going. Like Nore's tracks is like, I wasn't working out then, but if I was working out, if I was working out, like then, like that'll be my workout music.
Right,
like, cause that album gets you going, man. His music gets you going, man. He definitely got that energy. Like, you know how, like, kind of you know, kind of like how 50 was a little bit. Like, it was just, he wasn't always the best rapper, but his lyrics, like, he knew what to say when he rapped. Like, it got you going, man.
So like, why you think Nore wasn't like mentioned in the like top MCs?
He wasn't
lyrical.
He wasn't a lyricist. It's funny because Capone was the lyricist.
I was about to say the same thing. Capone is definitely to me a better lyricist.
Capone is the lyricist, but that's why they worked.
Yeah, exactly.
It was,
yeah,
you know,
the whole dynamic.
Yeah,
the
they
yin
weren't
and
the
yang.
same thing. Yeah, and they understood that.
Capone and those who rap, and that was from Queens, knew that Capone was the lyricist. You know what I'm saying? Like he was dangerous. He wasn't like no regular MC, like just somebody rapping. Nah, Capone was really up there. Imagine if he didn't get locked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think the album would probably sound a little bit different, more, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
be
probably
less,
so. Yeah, like them certain songs.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like
he would be on more tracks.
yeah.
But also, what I did find out is that he, when he found out he was going to jail, some of the stuff was recorded after he went to jail. But some of it, when he found out he was going to jail, he didn't have the same motivation no more.
Yeah.
He was kind of down. So Nore just was the one hungry coming in the studio recording. So he was recording solo tracks regardless. Some of the time, even when Capone was still home, because Capone lost, he got like, damn, I gotta go back to jail, you know, like that. So, you know, Nore was hungry because Nore said he didn't have a lot of, him and Tragedy had more experience in the studio. Nore was just learning, so he was like amping up, getting into it.
Right.
So, you know, he had more time. And next, man, track number 9, T.O.N.Y., Top of New York, featuring Tragedy Gaddafi, produced by Nasheem, what do you say, it's Myrick and Carlos Brody. This the second single. Oh, man.
What? No, when I was interning, Carlos was in there recording them.
Oh, okay. What was up?
Man, this song, man. T.O.N.Y.
You got beef. Crazy. I got beef.
T.O.N.Y. Evade N.Y. Multiply.
Yo,
kill
nigga
die,
tried to shit on me.
and
made
make
history.
history.
Supposed to be. I was the man that was supposed to be the head of the clique.
Lip seal the nigga snitch. Do or die. I
smoke
smoke bogey. Swords like shinobi. Shoot up your block and make you know me. You ain't ready yet. Slow down and recollect. Yo, this is classic New York hip hop right here. This song was hard, man.
On a mission. Shoot your back opposition.
2-5 deep in prison.
Huh? Started chilling like a Christian. Fuck you.
Yeah. Plus your weak religion. Beat the headline. And then the tragedy like Noreaga blast with 9. He's singing. It's a Mac. Oh, yo, they was running this, man. Yo, and
damn, boy.
And a TONY, you know, something that people may not know.
But I do.
Is that I said that the hitmen, Nasheem Myrick and Carlos Brody was the hitmen. They produced this song. Biggie loved this song so much he reached out to them and said he wanted to do the remix.
Oh, shit.
And he passed away. He got killed before he could do the remix.
Damn.
Biggie wanted to. Could you imagine Biggie on the TONY remix?
That'd be
Oh,
crazy.
my. It was already hard. And then you know Biggie was going to kill it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man.
He probably had bars waiting on it.
Oh, man. He probably already had his bars ready for this joint. Oh, that would have been crazy, man.
That probably took them over the top.
Somebody
This was the new, like, sort of like the New York anthem, man. I'm telling you at this time.
And this is the only song they had a video for this album. I'm pretty sure because Capone was home for this.
Yo, that song,
LA video.
Yo.
Oh yeah, but that was kind of before the album. But yeah, you're right.
But this song right here could have easily brought the whole New York together.
Oh
easily.
hell yeah!
You got beef, hard. I got beef. Top of New York.
This song was hard.
Oh man, this was it.
They need somebody like Jay
to
do an album with all the hard beats that he was never
with the mafia, Nazi,
a part of. You know what I mean?
Big.
Like do a no. I'm just saying somebody like Jay-Z or Nas to pick. Like Jay would sound crazy on this. You know what I mean? So he was like, yeah, I want this beat, that beat, all the known beats, like some of the mob beats, and then Jay just do like an album just to, like a freestyle album.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
That ain't never gonna happen.
No, it's definitely not happening.
Yeah,
but it's interesting though. Man, it's the classic TONY. Track number 10, Channel 10, featuring Tragedy Gaddafi, produced by Lord Finesse. I like this beat, man.
This might be my favorite song on the album.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
I love this.
Wow.
Oh, you like how that thing just going
I like this beat.
Yeah.
Microchips in a celly. The game don't stop. CNN, Network, Channel 10. It's on again. Street niggas, that's grown men.
Fell in love with Pone on this joint.
Yeah, this joint hard. I like this joint.
This joint, I like it, man. You don't like it?
It's
too slow.
It's some drums, man.
Lord Finesse, man. I like this. Yeah, man. Track number 11, Capone Phone Home Interlude. He calling home from jail.
Yeah.
Talking to him, talking about he gonna be home in a minute. So he just, they keeping him involved in the album even though he not there. Trying to keep him involved.
And they had people there too, right? Nas was there.
That's the other one. That's the
other one.
Oh, okay. Not this one. Yeah. So this is just Capone talking. Track number 12.
Oh yeah.
Was that Jungle on there talking? He was talking to Jungle.
The other one.
The
other one. Yeah. Track number 12, Thug Paradise, featuring Tragedy Gaddafi, produced by D Moet. This became like another kind of single for them, and they had to fight for Flex. Flex wasn't really rocking with it. They had to fight. They had to fight for Flex to. Tragedy said, Tragedy he gave it to Flex, and Flex ain't listened to it, and then Flex listened, to it and was like, I don't like it. And then then Tragedy was like, you said you ain't like Woo neither, to Flex.
Yeah.
And then Flex was like, you got a point. And then Flex started playing it, and then it kind of started picking up.
Green on the visa, took the stand, suddenly caught amnesia, found them in the warehouse.
This don't sound like their type of song.
But you know what's funny? This wasn't. You know what's funny? I didn't like this song. I like it a little. I like it a little better. I like it better now than I liked it then.
It does sound out of place. It don't.
But it was out of place. It was out of place.
It was perfect.
No, it was out of place because Tragedy said this song wasn't made for this album. It was a him and Capone album, a him and Capone song, And NORE didn't like this song neither, but the label wanted them to put this on the album bad, so they made NORE get on the third verse. NORE wasn't even originally on it.
Wow.
And another fact is the verse that NORE ended up putting on this song, it was the same verse that he originally recorded for I'm Leaving. But he had to end up recording a new verse for I'm Leaving because he took his verse that was for I'm Leaving and put it on here. So he ended up recording a new verse because I'm Leaving was supposed to be a Capone-N-Noreaga song too, but Tragedy didn't like the song. So he ended up keeping it for himself, recording it over.
That sounds like it.
They said they flew him out to LA to do the Firm album. They're like, yo, you got a song? Like, I'm leaving. Him and Nature got on the song, and the rest is history.
Damn.
You know? So NORE says Tragedy kind of give him that hard kind of love, kind of, he said, motivated his solo career, kind of thing. So, yeah, that's a little known fact. But I didn't like this song, though, honest. I didn't like this song when I heard it. I don't know. I mean, it felt a little.
It wasn't their style.
It felt a little puffy to me, man. A little bad boyish, man. Like a little shiny. And another fact is that
somebody else used the beat too.
No, the original CD, which this is not the original CD, but I got a story behind that. Freaks didn't take this. Freaks didn't take this CD, but the story behind the original CD is I had the original Capone-N-Noreaga War Report when it first came out. I let my boy Neil borrow it. And Neil's older brother T took my CD. It was
yes, he did.
And I never got it back again. I was like, yo, man, get my CD back from your brother, man. And I think somebody took it from his brother, and I never seen it again. Wow. So when I went,
Big always had this CD. This is one of his CDs, Shatter Image. He had the .8.
I need that back because when I bought it over, it's different. The original CD got different songs.
It do.
Closer's not on. It's a different version of Closer. This song, it actually used to say "Stay Tuned." They had an error on the CD. It said "Stay Tuned." This song, it ain't say "Thug Paradise" on the CD. It said "Stay Tuned," but "Stay Tuned" is actually this song. And then another song about to come up wasn't on the song at all. And Closer had the original DJ Clark Kent version.
Yes, it did.
So once you brought it over, it changed it for life. So, man, I was pissed, man. I was pissed. I was a young boy, pissed. Like, yo, man, get my CD, man. He like, man,
he was bumping that shit.
He don't got, I'm sure he was, man. I'm sure he don't got it no more, man.
My CD now.
Yo, took my joint, man. So, man, yeah, man. So, Thug Paradise is, track number 13, Capone Bone, produced by Marley Marl. I wasn't liking this song.
No. Like
did.
This joint nice,
If you want it, you got it.
Capone with that beat up. He was popping that shit to him. He was popping that shit to him.
I didn't like. You know why I probably didn't like this song? Because of the rest of the
He
album
said, meet me
was
at
so
702. I like your stilo.
Now this song was added. This song wasn't on the original. But I guess they were trying to get Capone more songs in it. But I get it. But this song didn't fit the rest of the album. Was so hype. Yes. And then I know Marley Marl produced it. He's a legend. But I wasn't feeling this song, man. I wasn't. It ain't do nothing.
It was cool. It was cool.
But like I said, this wasn't on the original copy. This
Marley gave him the extra beats.
Yeah. Man, this put you in the mold back then. This is just your lover boy freaks. When you heard this,
that was the shit.
All right. Track number 14, Halfway Thugs.
Just the halfway.
Produced by Charlamagne.
Thug that you portray.
This be hard.
This is where the album picks back up.
Yeah, absolutely.
NORE goes in on this song, man. Cause there's a halfway thug that he betray. If he get locked, that ass will probably come home gay. This is another solo NORE song right here.
Yeah. This beat sound like it could be on a Mobb Deep album.
Yeah, this is definitely. This definitely got that
snap, man. Yeah. It's that snap that Havoc created.
I thought Havoc produced this song, but he didn't. But it definitely got that Mobb Deep.
Or had something to do with it.
Yeah, it definitely got that Mobb Deep feel for sure. Yeah, this be hard, man. Shout out to Charlamagne. That's be hard. I'm not sure who he is as a producer, but this joint dope. Track number 15, LALA, the Kuwait remix, featuring Mobb Deep and Tragedy Gaddafi, produced by Marley Marl and Jay Force. Now, it is a version where they originally recorded over the same beat as New York, that Dog Pound used. But if we actually had, shout out to Daz. We had Daz on the podcast before, and he told us that the people that they got used the sample from, like they sued them, and they got 100% of the profits from the song. So Dog Pound and Death Row and none of them, they don't make no profits off the song. They can still perform it, but they ain't make no profits off of the song. So I'm sure Capone-N-Noreaga, due to sampling issues, they couldn't use that. And they ain't even have nowhere near as much money as Death Row at the time. So they put a new beat on it. Yeah. And that's how they got the remix with Mobb Deep and Marley Marl did the beat, Tragedy on there. But this is like them actually standing up for the East Coast. They young boys, but they actually stood up for the East Coast with this joint.
I told you, man, that TONY, man, like brought everybody together, man. Like especially when that West Coast joint started happening, they was like, nah, we ain't doing that.
Didn't Biggie rap to this beat?
I don't know if Biggie rapped to LA beat.
The Long Kiss Goodnight.
That's not the same beat.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Sort of the same joint. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yup.
Marley Marl did it too.
They're a little different. Maybe similar. They're not the same.
Nah, this is the same joint in the back, brother.
Yeah. Long Kiss Goodnight beat.
Gonna kiss you. I
know the song, but I don't think these beats ain't exactly the same. They similar.
I mean, the little.
Yeah, it's a little. It's similar. They're definitely similar.
Same sample.
Yeah, the same sample.
Okay, same sample. Yeah, but another fact about this song is that Prodigy recorded a verse and he took it off, and he's only on the chorus. Yeah. He ain't want to smoke.
Has anybody heard that verse?
Yeah, it's actually
he ain't want to smoke. Is that the truth?
That's what NORE and them saying. They said he did it kind of. They ain't like how he kind of did it. It just is like he recorded a verse. Then when it's like next thing you know, it was like, where's his verse at? He just took it off. Yeah. He kind of used his little extra pull being in the game a little longer to take it off. But he did do the hook though. And he was in the video. So they had a black and white video for this. They was like tying people up, and it was like a real hood video. But he actually took his verse. I haven't heard Prodigy with his verse on the song. But remember we did Hell on Earth 25, I told you it's a song on there, and I said this was the part. This is the verse that he originally recorded for LA on one of the songs on Hell on Earth. Yeah, and it's actually a little part from that song that
where it says, "Have you screaming like an opera?"
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That verse was the original verse that he had, but he took that off and put it on the song on Hell on Earth. So that's a little known fact. But this is originally intended for the Bad Boy mixtape they were doing. but Stretch, shout out to Stretch. Stretch from Stretch and Bobbito, Stretch Armstrong. He was very instrumental in helping push this record. He actually made it a white label and started pushing it out, even though it wasn't an official single. So they always show him a lot of respect because he was big in putting this song out there.
Underground hip hop.
But this song used to go, man. Mm-hmm. LA, big city of dreams and everything in LA ain't always what it seems.
I ain't really like it like that.
What? You might get food if you come from out of town. We'll be coming from Queens and gets down. You ain't like this song?
Not like that.
Wow.
I don't know.
Why not?
Just was something that I never really got into it like that.
Ole Larice gotcha. Golden Guns and Tons. Wow, you ain't like this song? I'm surprised. Now, I like the original version with the New York beat a little better, honestly. Yeah. But I still like this. This song used to go. Shopman Street. Havoc was ripping this joint. Yeah. Like, I like this song, man. And they also said that Tupac kind of dissed them. He kind of halfway dissed them. You remember he said he was dissing all the rappers, and then he said, you other fake whatever sounding motherfucker. He was talking about them because he heard this. Yeah. He heard this. So they was like, damn, we got halfway diss. We wasn't big enough where Pac could say our name. Yeah. But we knew he was talking about us. So he was like, damn, I don't know how I feel about that. Like we was like peons, but we knew he was talking about us. Yeah. But he couldn't even say our name though, man. But NORE was like, man, I don't know, because if he would have said our name, we was in a different mind state at the time. We'd have took that like
Yeah.
extra
Shot
serious.
him.
Yeah, like I might try to shoot Pac or something. Like we was in a totally different mindset. Track number 16 is Capone-N-Noreaga Live Interlude.
Why?
Oh man, you know what? I normally skip interludes like that, but this is an
Who's
interlude.
singing?
It's like a chant.
This is
Like
an
a chant.
interlude I always let play. CNN War Report, the War Report, Channel 10 Bloodsport. If you got really spit, it really spit. Yeah, it's like I like
Hey
this.
y'all, hey y'all.
Hey y'all, and that's all they was doing.
2Gs.
2G,
La, la.
La,
It's like
la.
a chant.
Yeah, like
you know, your way out.
Capone was just saying stuff and Nori was repeating it. That was the interlude, man. I liked it. It's like little stuff that got me going. I used to let this play. I ain't even skip it. I used to let it rock
I
out.
don't think this was needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't needed.
Hey man, I was all in. I liked it. Back shot. Yo, track number 17, Illegal Life.
I like this.
Featuring Tragedy and Havoc. This the first
This
street
sound like a
single.
mob joint too.
Yeah, well, Havoc produced it with
okay,
Tragedy,
all right.
so it makes sense. This definitely got the Mobb Deep sound. We hate the law, so we break it. Either you make it or you take it. In the games and you. This song was hard, though.
This sounds
Illegal
like
Life.
hell on earth, yo. This beat is crazy.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, this song, I like this song, man. I like this song. Track number 18, Black Gangsters, featuring Tragedy Gaddafi, produced by Buck Wild.
This joint good too.
Yo, this is one of this is one of them underrated gems on this album, man. I used to really like this song, man. And this is maybe the only song on here I could say where Capone clearly had the breakout verse to me on here. Like I feel like Capone ran this joint,
messy.
man. I feel like he really ran this joint.
I mean, for the songs that he was on.
Yeah,
So,
not saying that Capone's verses was whack. It's just Nori had something about
bitch,
Nori that
Nori's
was
That
standing
sniff a
out.
pyramid off a whole dollar bill. She real.
But I just feel like Capone like really
Yeah.
killed it. He was son,
Yeah.
been on benches, stuck in the fences. He was running that joint.
Yeah.
Take some. Like, he was running that joint, man. This is one of my joints. Track number 19, Closer, featuring Nika,
Another classic.
produced by Sam Steed. Now, the original version of this was produced by DJ Clark Kent.
I like the
and it was
original
actually
joint.
It was actually the third single, but in the original copy of the CD I had, it was on there. When I got the second one, they got this remix version on here. I like the first version better. The first version had the same beat. Peter, you probably know that sample. Kool G Rap used it on Fast Life with Nas. That was the original. That was Baby, you got to make it happen. That was the original Closer beat. And I like that version better. And DJ Clark Kent did the beat for him, but that was the original sample. And I like that a lot better.
Definitely not
You know,
getting clear.
you know where they got that song at?
What?
That actual, you can play that actual song at the Casbah.
Well,
Yeah, they got that joint there. Yup. That original joint. No bullshit.
the original
And I was
joint.
like, damn, because you know who played it one night we was in there. Bongo played it. Lakia,
word?
she played it. I was like, damn, Bongo, how you find that? She was like, this is my shit. This has been on there.
Yeah, that's the
I was like,
original
damn,
version.
yo,
The original version. The second
that was
ver-
BY shit.
The second version,
the original version.
The second version
Oh,
ain't
man.
whack though. It ain't whack, but I just like the original better, man. DJ Clark Kent, and that was actually a single, and then it didn't even make the app. Well, it didn't make the. But now, if you go buy the album, it's not on there, and it's not on streaming. You're gonna get the second version.
Sure, it's on YouTube, I'm sure.
So
Yeah.
how could I tell the difference between this one and the old album? Because I come across old CDs.
Well,
all over the place.
it'll be a track list. The track list, it'll say "Stay Tuned" on there. For number
19.
no, where it don't say Thug Paradise isn't on there at all. Thug Paradise, which is like number 12 or something, it's not on there at all. And it says "Stay Tuned" on there instead of Thug Paradise. It says "Stay Tuned." And then a Capone Home or Capone Bone is not on there at all. And then it says "Stay Tuned." They got like a typo on there. It says "Stay Tuned" for some reason instead of Thug Paradise. And then Closer, I think it still just says Closer though.
Where's Thug Paradise?
It's not on here.
It's not on there. No, it is on there, isn't it? It's on that version, ain't it?
No.
It's not? Let me see. I mean,
I don't see it.
Is that the right one? Maybe I do still got it. Oh, yeah. Well, I still do got it then. I even though I bought this again, this is still the original version.
That's the original, but then that Closer song is not on there.
I don't know if the Closer. I haven't listened to the CD in so long. I don't know, but I don't know if the Closer is the same. But that still is the original version right there. Yeah, that's not what you're gonna see on streaming. So when I bought it over, it still is the original version. But I think they still changed Closer though. But Stay Tuned is a typo. It's really Thug Paradise. So like streaming, you see Thug Paradise on there.
Mm-hmm.
So Stay Tuned is Thug Paradise. When you listen to Stay Tuned, it's Thug Paradise.
So which one you said Capone what? Capone Bone?
Capone Bone wasn't on the original.
Yeah.
No, Capone Phone Home that's on there.
Yeah.
Capone Bone. Yeah, that's not on there.
Okay, all right.
That's not on. That wasn't the original one.
All right.
And track number 20 is Capone Phone Home. So the one I got is kind of some of the original, but it's not all the way there. They still added stuff. Track number 20 is Capone Phone Home outro, and he in jail. He's calling home from jail. Capone. He's talking to Nature. He's talking to Nas, and he's also talking to, if you know anything about streets in New York, he's also talking to E-Money Bags on there. And this was a big dude out in the streets that got killed. But he was down with them. Yeah. So he was actually in there on the interlude too, which is a big cosign. Streetwise, that's a big cosign.
Absolutely.
E-Money Bags. He got killed with the Supreme thing. But that was a big cosign. So Nas is on here. He's like, yeah, Capone, like, yeah, man, we got Nature, we got Jungle, we got Nas, we got the whole family in there. So that's how it ends, man, on that outro.
Phone home. I'm thinking E.T. You said phone
now,
home.
It's interesting because I didn't even know this. I heard this song plenty of times, but I didn't even know this. But also, due to clearance issues, it was 2 songs on here, Married to Marijuana and Calm Down, featuring Nas and Tragedy Gaddafi. Music makes this thug calm down.
Yeah.
Music. Nas is singing the hook, and then it's Nas and Gaddafi on the song. That was meant for the War Report.
Oh shit!
But so this would have been even better.
Yeah,
but they couldn't. And then there was a song called "Married to Marijuana."
Nas kills that verse.
Yeah, they couldn't get those samples cleared, so they didn't make the album. But those songs was made for War Report, which would have made the album even better because that "Calm Down" was a classic, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they kind of surfaced on mixtapes and stuff and kind of became popular too. But they were supposed to be on here, man. That's dope. The War Report was a critical and commercial success upon release. The Source magazine gave it 4 mics.
They fucked that up.
And it was certified gold. It went certified gold in sales. So what was the impact of the War Report, y'all think, when it dropped?
I told you, man. It took over, man. From the Fatigues to the Timbs, you know what I'm saying? It was on a different level, man. I'm telling you, like when this joint dropped, man. The East Side was in an uproar, man. I'm telling you, man, like from everybody playing this joint in their cars, and then and then back then, man, you had to have a system in your joint. So everybody has systems in their joint. So man, I had some people around me that played the fuck out of this album. For real, man. I'm dead serious. Like they played the hell out of this album, man. A few of them played the hell out of this album, man. Real rap. And when it dropped, it just put New York on a whole different level, man. Like it put so much focus on Queens that I think that you man, if you was a rapper from out of Queens, you had to dig into this album.
Yeah, you had to have that
For
sound
real.
too.
You had to have the sound. You had to dig into this album because this album, man, that list that they made and they had Biggie #1. This album definitely need to be on that list somewhere ASAP.
Top 10?
Huh?
You said top 10 albums all time?
Man, this might be in my top 10 albums of all time, man.
Wow.
At least 15.
Wow.
At least 15, dog. This album is crucial, man. In hip hop, man. This is a major album, man. For
This
real,
album
for real.
top 10 albums all time, Pito?
No.
You know, Pito.
Well, I will say, as far as impact, we just coming off the Wu-Tang Forever. So, big picture, it wasn't a big impact as far as like globally, nationally, but in the streets, This album was
This is
a
a street
street
classic.
classic,
That's what it is,
man.
man.
Classic,
A
yeah.
street class. This was in the hood heavy. This wasn't a commercial album at all.
And I continue to say, man, that's the gift of music, man, because music, when you hear it and when it's something new, you always remember the time that you hear it.
Yeah, where are you
And
at?
albums, when I listen to albums like this, it takes me back to the times when things was much different. Things was like my young adulthood, you know what I'm saying? So it affects you different, man, when you listen to it, man, because you start thinking about, and
Do you think it's because of like the technology, the way we get music today?
yeah, definitely that now.
Being
Definitely
so like
now.
you physically had.
Like
to
you
have
heard Carl said, motherfucker had his CD. He wanted
I ain't
his shit
get
back.
it back.
He didn't get it back.
I didn't get it back.
That's
That's
how it
he
was,
didn't
dog.
Get it back to him. He just took that.
Yo, a nigga, motherfucker might be in the car with you, dog. You might be playing this. You might run in the store. Come out, they put something else in. That's because they took this. Not because they wanted to hear something else. They took this out
Let
and
me hold
put
this.
something
Let
else
me hold
in.
this.
Yo, for real, that was one of the illest tricks, man. And this album was like that.
Yeah, man. It's like a street. It was a street classic, man. It was a street classic. Like, it was just heavy in the streets, man. It wasn't selling units. It wasn't platinum singles. It wasn't radio singles. It was just hard street hip hop that got you going, and everybody was playing it. Like in the streets, everybody was in Delaware. Everybody was playing it
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Like, so they reached out of New York streetwise. They reached out of New York, like
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
So this joint went, man.
Yep.
How would you like describe the sound of the War Report?
I would say up tempo,
Yeah.
dark. They're not even like dark beats to me. They're just up tempo banging beats. Not like to me like Mobb Deep has
Street
dark
rap.
beats. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just up
Straight
tempo
bangers,
rap.
man.
Yeah, it's
Some
definitely
bangers.
straight bangers.
It's like street rap, but it's like street rap that like get you going. It's like I don't know. It's like motivational
angry,
street rap.
angry
Yeah.
street rap.
Yep.
but it's still poetic though. Like the way Nore be just his bars, his cadences is something totally different. That
It's
we haven't heard.
like that's why I know you can either use this to motivate you to go rob somebody, or you could use this like if you play sports, it can help get you
Yeah.
going. But this is music that could definitely like motivate you to go do some
Yeah.
illegal stuff, like
Yeah.
really get you hype and ready to go. Like, yo, let's go out, man. We listen to
Yeah.
that War Report. Let's go out and get this money, man. It was that kind of motivation. Like it just had it was kind of like everything else, but it was different. Like it had a different,
Had
it
a
had a
different-
little different
yeah.
edge to it, man.
Yeah. And that's what made it special. And then I think also with the process of like the album being done, and then Capone locked up, and you know like the intros and you know like the not the intros but the interludes or whatever them I'm talking you started rooting for Nore more because you know that his other half wasn't here.
Yeah.
So now you waiting on Capone to come home. You know what I'm saying? So it just made it so much better, man. And then it leads you right into Nore's solo. You know what I'm saying? Which we probably talk about sooner or later. But this album, man, is like it's one of them hip hop albums. For real.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
Like this is not no poop putt shit right here, man. Like if you like that's why I understand drill rap, because these type niggas was drilling back then, and the rap is totally different. Like you gotta if you drill rapping and all, you
rap.
gotta go back and listen to shit like this.
It's drill music. It's
Well,
not
drill
rap.
music, drill, whatever the fuck it's called. You gotta go back and listen to this. This one of the hardest albums.
See, I think
For
like
real.
the difference
From Queens,
between drill
period.
music today versus this is I feel like the beats overpower what they're saying in today's music, but back then the lyrics and the beats they kind of met at the same peak. But nowadays it's like
You had to have bars, man.
oh, definitely.
it's
definitely.
just a
man.
hard beat, and you just say
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You had to have
Yeah.
bars back then.
You definitely had to have bars. And you couldn't come out from QB particularly. Like Queens,
Hell
but
no.
QB, you had to have bars.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get on. So how did the whole incorporation of like the Middle Eastern references in their music like help their movement? Like Freaks, you talked about it a little earlier, like the Iraq, the Kuwait, the Bosnia. Like what do you think? How do you think that like how'd that help their movement? You think?
I think to me, I mean, it was something different. Like talking about Kuwait and Iraq and left rack and are these places real? Like what the like? It was just something different. Like it was just like almost like Wu-Tang calling Staten Island Shaolin.
Yeah,
like it was just
that's
like,
a,
oh shit.
That's a good one right there. Yeah,
Nicknames. That's all.
Yeah, it was like they compared. They went with the whole theme, the war report.
Yeah.
So we got instead of left rack, we're gonna call it Iraq,
Yeah.
and then everybody Iraq, like it just he even made that more popular as he went on to be solo. But then you got Bosnia, Kuwait. It just seemed like a whole war zone.
Yeah.
It just brought a whole it wrapped the whole war report up like
a global
war. This is the war report. Here's our war zones that are warring with each other. And it was different. Like it was like slang, like you said with the Wu and Shaolin. It was like a different slang that separated them from everybody else. Wasn't nobody else using this slang in their music. And I gotta give Tragedy once again his props on that
for coaching
because he brought that to the table. So nobody was sounding like that.
Yeah.
No, he brought that all to the table. So you talked about Capone getting locked up. Like, how did that affect this album and his career?
I think it actually kind of made this more authentic. If you kind of think about it.
It helped Nore out.
Yeah.
By him going to jail.
I think Nore would have been Nore anyway, whether he went to jail or not.
Yeah.
I don't think he might not have been Nore that quick, but I think he would have been Nore at some point. But who knows if he'd have had the classic Nore? It might have been another Capone-N-Noreaga after that instead of Nore. But I think Nore was going to make hit records with Pharrell at some point anyway. But Capone is different. It kind of made Capone popular because Nore was holding him down. But as far as his actual rap career, I think it hurt him.
Yeah,
because he ain't really do nothing.
Right.
I think if he was home, he would have been able to. He would have made more of a dent.
Yeah.
Rapping wise.
Yeah.
But Nore held him down.
Oh yeah.
So it's like his name was still ringing.
Plus, back then, a lot of people toured. They weren't in a lot of spots.
Well, you couldn't. I mean,
Because
I guess
they were back and forth. Either one of them was locked up, or Because I've never seen them anywhere. Like Onyx was everywhere. Lost Boys was everywhere. There's so many groups that
when Capone came home, they was coming to Delaware and Dale State and stuff for sure. I remember.
Absolutely.
They were definitely coming to Dale State.
And then when Capone was locked up, Nore was coming to Delaware.
Yeah.
I remember that for a fact.
Yeah, so at that time you couldn't get them together because Capone's in jail.
Around this time was Nore coming. Nore came on his solo album.
Absolutely. He came to Delaware and he came to Philly.
No, I think he came when NORE came out though.
Who? You talking
Nore.
about?
Noriega. I think he came when
Yeah.
When
didn't come
NORE
out
dropped.
this
He didn't come when War Report came out.
Nah.
See, that's what I was saying. I didn't see. I never.
Yeah, NORE came when NORE came out for sure. But yeah, I think it affected this album because he wasn't on most of the songs. Like, I actually listening to this. The song flows so well. The album flows so well to me that I ain't even really. I didn't really
notice it.
I didn't really notice how many songs he really wasn't on. Like, he really wasn't on a lot of songs on this album, dog. Like, he's not on a lot of songs. They got the little interludes.
But like I said, it was just like the utmost respect and handle for him as a MC. Because Capone was nice.
Capone was nice.
You feel me? Like,
Capone
he just
was the
wasn't,
lyricist, man.
Yeah, he just wasn't able to, being as though he was locked up, he wasn't able to give you everything. But you could tell in the reunion.
But Nore, I heard Tragedy say Nore was going to be Nore regardless. But Capone was the lyricist of the group. Nore just had something with him that at that time it was going to pop. It was regardless.
It was going to stick.
He just had that formula.
He had something on him.
Like, if I could compare it to anything, it would be kind of like the 50, where 50 just had a formula that just worked. Nore had a formula that just everything he got on at that time, and after this, it just hit. Like, he just had it. Some people just have it.
Yeah.
But Capone, I think it hurt his solo career. I think Capone would have did something a little more solo wise probably, and then he would have did more with CNN if he was home. But I think it just kind of Nore just started running, And it's like at that point, it was like nobody wanted to hear Capone unless he was with Nore.
Right.
Nobody wanted to hear him by himself no more. Because he had an album now supposed to come out on Def Jam, and it just kind of never came out. Yeah, they was promoting it and all. It just never came out. How did Tragedy Gaddafi influence this group and this album?
From to what we heard, like he was like that third member.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
He was like that third member.
Yeah, I mean, just by their sound, the beats, even like the way they rap, I feel like he definitely had a heavy influence on them.
Yeah, and then like the whole thing with him, man. The whole thing with Tragedy, man, is that he was nice as well. You know what I'm saying? And then he had an ear.
Nice. Yeah,
he had an ear. You know what I'm saying? So, and he had a vision. So that's what made him a key part, man. You know what I'm saying? I just hope NORE, after this whole situation, realize that, go back and get Tragedy. I don't know what they did wrong or
nah,
they fixed it up now.
They good now, but they had their little beefs. But they good now. But Tragedy, he was a third member pretty much. Well, he wasn't even the third member. Tragedy was the visionary of the whole thing. He put it together. He just was on so many songs. You thought he was in the group too. Yeah. You're used to hearing his voice on the album so much that you just think he's with them. But he put the whole play together. But also, like Freak said, Tragedy was nice. If Tragedy didn't get locked up again, if Capone didn't get locked up, and Tragedy didn't get locked up after that, they could have used this momentum, and because Tragedy was rapping in his prime. This is Tragedy rapping in his prime on here. He could have just went right into a solo album for himself off this momentum. But then Capone got locked up, that slowed it down, and then he got locked up. And then when Capone was like the middleman between him and Nore, so when Capone got locked up, Nore and Tragedy's relationship started getting kind of crazy, and then Tragedy got locked up, and Nore blew. And if they wouldn't have got locked up, they could have kept that same energy and went right into Tragedy's solo album, and they would have been killing it. Man, Tragedy was in his prime on this joint.
Yo, Tragedy could have had a easily produced album by Havoc, all these dudes. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been fire.
He just had a career where he every time something was about to blow, he was about to blow with the Juice Crew, he got locked up. Him and Havoc was tight. Then Mobb Deep blew up, he got locked up. Yeah. It just, Capone-N-Noreaga took off. He ended up getting locked up. So it just every time something was about to blow, he just get locked up, and bad timing, man.
Yeah. One step forward, two steps back.
But he was in his prime on this, and it wouldn't be no Capone-N-Noreaga, it wouldn't be no Nore without Tragedy. Tragedy was that guy.
Tragedy can still go.
He can still rap.
He
can still rap. I wish he would have, for his talent level, I wish he'd have got a chance to showcase it a little more on a big level. But it just, some people just had bad timing, I guess, man. So what about Pito? You talked about this. I know you're a big everybody's a Mobb Deep fan, but you like Mobb Deep a little more. Were the Capone-N-Noreaga comparisons to Mobb Deep a fair comparison?
No, because Mobb Deep, their beats, it was all straight Havoc. These guys had everybody on it, a part of it. Yeah. There was a lot of different sounds on this than it was on any of the Mobb Deep albums. Mobb Deep just stayed Mobb Deep.
Yeah, they actually don't like that. They actually don't like they were like, I think they're pretty much called like Mobb Deep's little brothers or something like fake Mobb Deep. Like they would get these write-ups in magazines that they felt like disrespected, like they was getting slighted, like that, like we're like the fake version of Mobb Deep. And I get the comparisons, Mobb Deep's from Queensbridge pretty much, Capone's from Queensbridge, but really Havoc is from Queensbridge. But, Capone's from Queensbridge. So I get that comparison. But when you really, really break them down, Capone-N-Noreaga is different to me. Like, Nore aspect is completely different than what Mobb Deep is. Mm-hmm. Mobb Deep's sound is Havoc and P is kind of, they rap alike. Yeah. They got different voices, but they rap alike. Capone and Noreaga's completely different, dog.
Prodigy's a great before his death. Let's not get it fucked up.
Oh,
Prodigy
definitely.
was a heavy spitter.
Legend.
Oh no, I'm not saying that they're whack.
Yeah, no,
I'm talking
yeah,
about-
but yeah.
I'm just saying they're not exactly the same to me.
But that's a compliment if you want to say it, because Mobb Deep was one of the toughest groups that came out of Queens. So that's a compliment. Don't even look at it that way. But you know,
I'll say this.
Pride
I'll say this, and this is going to be controversial, but I'm speaking for myself. This album connected with me more than the Infamous. And Infamous is a classic, but this album hit. This album hit to me, man. Like,
you know why though?
why?
Because this album came out during your young adulthood, Carl. You learned more. You start smelling yourself. You know what I'm saying? This shit came at a pivotal time, and more importantly, dog, the neighborhood that we're from was in an uproar with finesse at this time when this shit came out, man. Like, from the dudes that was older than us, that was in position, that was making moves. Like, it was a lot going on, man. I'm telling you, especially. Yo,
Also, I mean, to be fair, Infamous came out in 1995. I was 2 years older when the War Report came out, so I was a little mature. Listen to it, man.
Exactly.
But the Infamous is a classic. I'm not saying it's not a classic. I'm just saying this album actually hit harder to me, man. Like, I was banging this heavy, man.
I mean, that's for you. For me personally, I'm taking the Infamous over this. I mean, they're saying there's nothing wrong with this, but me, I feel like the Infamous is a more polished. It's still darker.
There's another feeling with Infamous.
Yeah, the
when
Infamous.
you playing it, it's just a different feeling.
Infamous is hard.
Yeah.
Infamous is hard. It's a classic.
Infamous is hard.
It's a classic. I'm
I
just
don't
saying.
think the Infamous got as many joints as this, though.
I agree.
That's my only thing.
I agree.
That's my only thing,
When
man.
you start peeling back song for song, this album gets me going more, man. This album get me like if I need to get going, this album gets me going.
All right. So
this Infamous has so many singles. Could be singles. This had like 3.
I don't know about singles, but this they got these joints that go streetwise. They go.
this
All
does
they
have
got
a lot of
is
beat
T.O.N.Y..
cuts. This does have a lot.
All
of
they
beat
got.
cuts.
All they got.
I don't think
Okay.
the Infamous
You
has
can
a lot
go
of.
through
Let's
the
hear
whole
you all
Infamous
they got.
Singles
straight.
neither. I don't think either
The
album
whole
has a lot of
Infamous, you can
singles.
just go straight through.
I don't think Infamous has a lot of singles
This
neither.
got
I don't
a
think
lot of forwards.
what. No, this
You
album
tripping.
does not.
Forward.
You're talking about Capone Bone.
All right, a lot of
tripping.
skips then.
This album does not have a lot
I
of
wouldn't
skips.
say skips.
This
What's
album,
next?
this album does not have a lot of skips.
All right.
All right. So just for fun, who do you think y'all win in the verses? Mobb Deep or CNN?
Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep gonna win the verses. That's not even the question.
Mobb Deep got more songs.
Nobody
They got Mobb Deep got 3
Yeah,
albums.
yeah, yeah.
Mobb Deep got really.
You gotta
I'm
bring,
just-
you gotta
yeah.
bring
They
somebody.
got like 2.
You gotta bring somebody like the Locks or somebody like that for Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep's gonna win easy. I'm talking about album for album. My Infamous is a classic. I'm not taking nothing away from it. One of the best New York albums of all time. I'm just saying this album does more for me. It gets me going more. But to say this album got skips, stop it. That's blasphemy.
So all right. So
Nah, you entertaining.
so you got a road trip and you got the Infamous.
I'm
or
going with this.
You going with the War Report?
I'm going with
All
this.
right.
This album gonna get me going. I might listen to the Infamous too, but I'm gonna listen to this first. I went back to this album more over the years than I went back to the Infamous.
What about you, Freeze? You on a
I
road
might have
trip
to
going
concur.
down south to Virginia? You gonna play this before the Infamous?
Yeah, the War Report might go on because the War Report got so many joints back to back to back.
That's cool.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Is the War Report a classic?
Absolutely.
Definitely street classic. to me.
Definitely a classic. It's a classic. Pito, it's not a classic. Wow. Wow. This dude is from Queens, ladies and
Classic,
gentlemen.
you gotta be able to not skip no songs.
Man, we ain't going there with Pito for the sake of time.
Wow. Y'all
It's a-
hear this, guy?
There's a couple songs that don't fit, but it still works. So out of 20,
Due
you
to the
got
circumstances, this album is a classic.
Wow. What is your favorite song on War Report?
T.O.N.Y.
Yeah, I gotta go with T.O.N.Y. too.
It
But
was-
if I went after T.O.N.Y., it will probably be Bloody Money, though.
Absolutely.
Because Bloody Money go.
Bloody Money dope. Black Gangsters is dope. Love that beat.
Black Gangsters is crazy.
Yeah, this
Stick
Channel
You.
10. Love that joint too. Joint
Stick You is my joint. Yeah, this.
Oh, shit.
But I'm gonna go with I would go with T.O.N.Y. T.O.N.Y. is just so crazy. But then Bloody Money, man, that joint start off the album. That joint go, man.
It's those piano keys.
Word.
Set that thing off.
That
where-
T.O.N.Y. reminds me of just like lunchroom.
Baby. And when the beat break down, baby. That song, that's
Then
definitely on your playlist, man. That's definitely on your 90s playlist right there for hardcore hip hop. So where does this album rank at in Capone-N-Noreaga's group discography?
Definitely number one, I would think.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah, number one. There's only one album.
For sure, number one. That's not true. But
Not sure I'm gonna say what.
it's their best album by far. But the reunion was dope. The reunion is a classic to me.
When they with DJ Premier,
and that's when they came back. That's when they came back and really made a whole album together. The first whole album they really made together was the reunion that came out in 2000. That was a classic. And just from there, they actually made other albums that was good. I thought was good, but nobody was checking for them no more like that.
They had a War Report too.
Yeah, they did.
I think Raekwon had something to do with that.
It was on Raekwon's label, Ice 2O.
Ice
Records.
Water.
Yeah, Ice Water record.
Yeah.
And they actually connected with Tragedy again after they stopped beefing, and they produced another album called Lessons, which was a good album, just nobody was checking for them no more. You know, it is what it is. But Reunion was dope.
Songs on that, Lessons.
Yeah, Lessons was dope. It just nobody was checking for him no more. As a rapper, at that point, nobody was checking for Nore no more. As a
Absolutely.
rapper, that's why he switched fields, and it worked. Yeah. But the music wasn't whack though. But speaking of the War Report 2, they made a sequel to this album. How do you think that went over?
Most sequels don't really work out like that. It's very rare you get a good sequel for a classic album.
Well, compared to some of the other rappers that made part twos, like Raekwon made the Purple Tape 2.
Dr. Dre, Chronic.
AZ made.
Or is that you consider that part 2?
AZ made Do or Die 2. I think the War Report would be at the bottom of all them sequels, and not because the songs was whack. They just didn't have no banger type songs on there, man.
It wasn't what they.
Cuban Link 2 was solid too.
I like Cuban Link 2, but Cuban Link 2 at least has songs more that went a little more. Right. This didn't, man.
What about the Games documentary too?
I liked the documentary too.
That
Documentary 2 was dope. I actually liked that. How did this set up Nore's solo career?
Oh, this
the War Report.
The alley-oop. My man in jail. I got to do this for myself.
He did so many solo songs. You was already used to hearing Nore as a solo artist, man. And then he did, I'm Leaving. And then he was forced to make a solo album because Capone wasn't there. Like, I gotta do something to make some money. So this set him up. This set up Nore completely. The War Report. I know it wasn't his best album, and some people may not even know this album, but this is what started NORE.
Yeah. Yep. Niggas on the run eating.
The War Report for sure. This freaks moment of the episode, man. Has any album came out in the last 25 years that remind you of the War Report?
As a rap duo? I don't know.
Nah. Definitely not no rap duo.
I'm gonna say.
Can you name any rap duos from New York that's out?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. But then I'm gonna reach. I'm gonna stretch.
You go.
Here go my stretch.
You just wanted to reach.
No. Here go my stretch. I'm gonna say no. The answer to the question, no. But my reach is Conway and Westside Gun, Hall and Nash.
Yeah.
Hall
you
and
reaching
Nash.
like a motherfucker.
No.
Stretching under the
Hall
table.
and Nash. Hall and Nash. They're group albums. They got the one dude that's kind of like the hype dude, and then they got the one dude that got the bars. That's my reach. That's my reach.
Thank you.
You never heard Westside and Gun Conway's like their Hall and Nash projects where they going back to back. Their doings is dope, man. That's my reach though. That's my reach.
That was a super reach.
Disrespectful.
That's my reach, man.
I'm thinking like an actual like
This
rap
guy
team.
is crazy.
Like,
They were a rap. They were group projects. They did it together.
Come
They
get
doing-
this guy,
and they got
please.
hard. They got hard beats on there. The only thing they just don't got no TONY type singles.
Yeah.
But they doing hard though, man.
that was a reach.
You be reaching a lot, man. You said Yo Gotti reminds you of Wu-Tang Forever. No. What double album was that?
yeah.
Was it Wu-Tang? It was one of the double albums that came out. No, Biggie. Life After Death. Yo Gotti double album reminds you of that. And you talking about me about
Now I'm
that.
saying the level
Man,
up.
this is blasphemous.
I'm saying the level up. I'm not saying the quality.
Blasphemous.
I'm saying the level up.
The level up.
did you put their names together?
Biggie was on the level up in his career when he made Life After Death. Yo Gotti is on the level up of his
All right, man.
career.
It's Capone-N-Noreaga. But you gonna get on me about Conway and West Side Gun, though.
You just got mad. You just got mad because of your reach. You got mad
said Yo
because you
Gotti.
brought a whole nother episode into this episode because of your reach.
Because you said Yo Gotti, though.
Because we had when I said that, you had a chance to rebuttal. You
I
didn't.
did.
didn't.
I said I was speechless
Are you
at the
doing
time.
a Yo Gotti episode ever?
Here we go.
Okay then.
All right, 25 years later, the
Classic.
War Report. 25 years later, what's the legacy of this album?
To me, just a street banging classic album.
Yeah. There's nothing too much more to say. Carl. You said it
Classic,
all.
man.
You said it all, man. It's not no more wordplay for this shit. But raw material, man. This is a raw situation, man. For real.
Classic album.
25 years, yo.
25
Does this
years.
sound like a summer
25
album?
years.
No, it don't sound like a summer album to me. It just sounds
Sound
like
like a
a
straight winter
It just sound
album
like
to
an
me.
album, man. I can still play this album
Yo,
to
this
this
is
day
crazy, man.
and feel good about it. It don't feel dated to me. I like the song still. Like this,
I don't know. I don't know
puts me
why.
in a
I don't
place.
know why they didn't do a tour or nothing with this, man.
They
in
couldn't.
jail.
Capone wasn't there. They couldn't.
Now I'm
do it.
talking about right now.
An anniversary
Yeah,
tour.
anniversary joint. You got to. Come on, man. You got to come up off your high horse and do this for the culture. You keep yelling about for the culture. Why you not doing this?
You got
Capone
contracts.
trash.
Nori's too busy.
Fuck that. Yeah, unfortunately, huh?
DJ Evans can't come on tour.
Nah, the War Report's a classic, man.
Yeah,
Happy 25th anniversary, man. Salute to Capone, salute to Noreaga, salute to Tragedy, man. Everybody involved with this
Yeah.
album, all the producers, man. Buck Wild, Easy LP, Havoc, man. Prodigy was on here. This album's a classic, man. Street banging classic, man. Happy 25th anniversary. If you haven't heard the War Report, go check it out. All young people, go check it out if you
CNN.
haven't heard it, man.
All you drill song makers, go see where it started from.
Drillers.
But yo, man, happy anniversary, Capone
25.
and Noreaga.
25,
The War
man.
Report,
We getting
25, yo.
Respect.
We Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure you go follow us at Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure you go download, subscribe. We on all digital platforms. Yo, make sure y'all go to our YouTube page, subscribe, check out all our YouTube videos, man. Dope content on there, man. Go support them and subscribe to all of them. But yo, man, happy 25th anniversary. The War Report. Salute to Capone and Noreaga.
Straight classic.
Yo, Pito, hit us with the fader. We out.
Yeah.
Yes.